Right, on to question 9 of the Transum questions. Now, question 9, don't worry too much. This is just an extra extension of trigonometry. When it talks about exact values, you won't be tested in this in your criteria, but it is worthwhile knowing because you will learn it in the future. So it's asking for the exact value of tan 60. Now, because you're just in grade 9, I wouldn't expect you to know that off by heart. So if I just put in tan 60, you get root 3. Now, root 3 is the exact value. So an exact value means a non-decimal, the non-rounded number. So that's obviously as a decimal, and that's the exact value. Now, why is it root 3? It comes from a special triangle, the 30-60 triangle. And this is how I remember it in school, that opposite the 30 is 1, hypotenuse is 2, and the adjacent from 30 is root 3. So if I was to do tan 60, it's opposite over adjacent, which is root 3 over 1, which is root 3. So a bit of extra information for you for that. If you didn't get that, don't worry about it. Then in B it says find the exact area. Now, the area is the base times the height divided by 2, but we don't actually know what the base is. So again, if this was a non-calculator paper, you would have to know that tan 60 is equal to root 3 and then rearrange it. But because I'm allowing you a calculator, it's fine. You would just put it in as this, tan 60 equals opposite over adjacent. And when you pop that up there, x is obviously going to be equal to not root 3, x is going to equal 15. Now I can just cross check that because 15 over 5 root 3, the 15 and the 5 cancel to give you 3 over root 3. And then if you remember back to surds, when you rationalise the denominator, you multiply the bottom by root 3 and the top by root 3, and you end up with 3 root 3, put that 3 a bit better, 3 root 3 over 3. And what happens to the 3's? They cancel out to show you that the answer is indeed root 3. So that doesn't answer the question yet. It says what is the area? So area is equal to the base, which we know is 15, times the height, which is 5 root 3, and we're going to divide that by 2. So let's just pop that into a calculator, 15 times 5 root 3, and then divide that by 2. Now, again, it says in the question the exact, so all I want there, it would be non-calculator, 75 root 3 over 2. Which, if you weren't to give the exact value, it would be 64.95. So what you've learned there is the keyword exact. So exact means the non-rounded answer. But don't get too bogged down with that question. I think these questions here are extension kinda. You could end up with a level 7 to 8 question with like this, but these are more challenging non-calculator questions as you get older. So next question is algebra with trigonometry, and it gives you a bit of information. You've got an angle COSY between two sides. It gives you the area, so therefore area is equal to a half AB sine C, but in this case C is this one, B is this one, and A is the angle, so it's actually a half BC sine A. So that would be a half, and then B is 2x plus 1, C is x plus 2, and then sine 60 degrees. So if I expand that all out, I'm going to get a half, and that's going to give me 2x squared, 2 times 4x plus 1x is going to be 5x plus 2, sine 60. Now, bearing in mind, in this question, you probably wouldn't have a calculator and you would be expected to know what sine 60 is. So if I refer back to this little triangle, sine 60 is opposite over hypotenuse. So sine 60 is actually root 3 over 2. I'll just back that up. Sine 60 is equal to root 3 over 2. So that's why this little triangle is really handy to know for these values. So what is it I've got to do? I've got to make the area equal here. So the area is equal to 35 root 3 over 4. And I have to rejig this to show the value of x. That's what I want to do, find the value of x. So it's quite a complex question. You've got a bit of algebra, you've got a bit of trigonometry, you have to do a bit of rearranging, you've got a quadratic. It'd definitely be a level 70 if it was in there. Right, I'm going to take the 2, it's half, so when I take it over the other side it becomes times by 2, so that would become 70 root 3 over 4. Or I could have just cancelled this 4, but I'll do that in a minute. So, and then that's going to be 2x squared plus 5x plus 2 times sine 60, which I already showed you is root 3 over 2. And then again, I'm going to take this 2 up here and this root 3 down here. So what happens here is you end up with 2 times 70, which is 140. Root 3 over this root 3 now comes down and it becomes 4 root 3. So I haven't simplified anything yet, just so that you can see it in full. Now, obviously the question's arranged so that you can solve this for x. So what happens with the root 3's? They cancel. And then 140 divided by 4, well, I can half it and half it again. And that divides it. So that gives me 35 is equal to 2x squared plus 5x plus 2. So 0 is equal to 2x squared plus 5x plus 2 minus 35. So therefore, we end up simplifying this. 2x squared plus 5x, and that's going to be minus 33. Then you're going to use the quadratic formula and you can solve that for x.